have a 50 elements. I need to visit each element from the beginning to the end. Then we are going to call that process as traversing. If I wanted to insert an element in this position, so whatever the elements that we have, after that position needs to be pushed right. Then only we can get a space there. Then we can insert an element whichever we wanted to insert. I wanted to add an element called 30 in this position. Now where should I leave all these 40, 50, 60? I just need to push it away to the right or higher position. Hello everybody, a warm welcome to one and all. Welcome to the first session of your chapter 1, and we are in the B.C.A. second semester, unit 2 of data structures using C. I am Rohini TS, Department of Computer Science, Vidhyaashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence, MYSURU. So in this unit, along with this chapter, we are going to learn about the different traversing, insertion, deletion, searching, merging, and also regarding the sorting of an elements in an array. So as of now, in our today's session, we're going to see what do you mean by this traversing of a linear array, and also we'll see about inserting an element into an array. How we are going to insert an element into an array? If we are inserting a value to the array, then we have to delete an element from an array. How all these methodology will going to work, that I will be discussing in my today's session. Let me get into the session that is regarding traversing linear array. So as we all discussed in the unit 1, there we have learned regarding the operations of linear array, or what are the operations that can be performed on arrays. So as I told a code word, you need to remember it as TID SMS, isn't it? So here T represent traversal, I represent insertion, deletion, searching, merging, sorting. So these are the basic operation that can be done or that can be performed on array. So along with that, first we have the traversing an array. So then what do you mean by traversing here? You just imagine I have 50 elements in my array. Anyway, array is a collection of homogeneous elements, or same kind of elements will be there. That means same data type, and every element will going to be accessed by their index or by subscript. That gives you the location or position of an element. And also we got to know the definition of each operations in the last session itself. That is what is traversing, insertion, deletion, searching, merging, sorting, everything we know. So then when it comes to the traversing, as I told the example, we have a 50 elements. I need to visit each element from the beginning to the end. Then we are going to call that process as traversing. A process or it's a method of visiting each subscript. That subscript specifies what? That specifies the location or position of an element in an array, right? At least once we have to visit each element at least once from the beginning element to the last element. When I start calling student name in the attendance, it has to be start from the first student up to the last student. In between we can't leave. At least one time I need to call everybody. That is what traversing. So visiting each element at least once from the beginning to end, we are going to call that process of visiting each element in an array is called traversing, right? You just imagine here I have 3 elements. Let me consider 10, 20, 30. Consider the array name as A of 0, and we have a of 1, and the location of last element will be A of 2. Is it? Now, I wanted to visit this element. Let me go with a location 0. And as we all know that always array's location starts from 0th index. That specifies the position of an element called 10, and this is of integer array. So we are taking only whole numbers here, no fraction part. Along with that, this specifies what? Lower bound. LB specifies lower bound. That is the minimum value or a minimum position. So when it reaches to the last position, that is UB or upper bound. That specifies the maximum subscript or the maximum position of an set of elements that we have in an array, right? This is what? After the visiting of this 10, I am going to visit 20. So next I will move to the next position, that is 30. Traversing in the sense, we are visiting each element at least once from the beginning to end. If I wanted to traverse, I can't start from 30 or I can't start from 20. It needs to be start from 10, 10, 20, 30. If I have 100 elements, same procedure will going to take place. So you can see here, For example, to find the maximum element of an array, need to access each element of the array. If I wanted to find the maximum element, what is the last element? Then I need to visit all the elements of an array. Fine. So now we'll see about the algorithm, how we are going to write in order to have this traversing here. Already we got to know what is traversing. And what I require an array. I must know what is its lower bound. That is always starts from 0, right? Then upper bound will be the maximum number of elements that we have in an array. So here traversal, it's a function name and A is the name of an array. LB specifies the lower bound and UB specifies the upper bound or maximum limit of a subscript. A is an array with lower bound LB and upper bound UB. What we are going to do in a step 1? For loop. So we need to have for loop. The location has to start from LB to UB. So from where I am supposed to start? Let me consider for I is equal to 0, I lesser than n, I plus plus. This will be the for loop. After that, we need to visit each element. That is what? A of location. I need to specify the A of location. So let me consider printf. So this will be the location of, okay, fine. Now we'll see for I is equal to 0. Consider I is in the first location now. Fine. Then what is the n value? N specifies the number of element, that is 3. Is 0 is lesser than 3? Is 0 is lesser than 3? True or false? It is true. Then if it is true, then it will going to print the first element or it will going to visit the first element called 10. So now it will come here and I will going to be incremented by 1. I was 0. So now I plus plus specifies 0 plus 1. 0 plus 1 is 1. So now I value is 1. After that, is 1 is lesser than 3. Is this I lesser than n that we are following here? 1 is lesser than 3. True or false? It is true. If it is true, then it will going to come for the next element, that 20 will going to be read. After that, I will going to be incremented by 1. As of now, it is 1. So 1 plus 1 will be 2. So now I value is 2. So next 2 is lesser than 3. Is 2 is lesser than 3? True. If it is true, then it will going to process the next element. So A of location is 2 now. It will visit this element called 30. After that, again the loop will come here. I plus plus. I will going to be incremented by 1. It was 2. Now 2 plus 1 becomes 3. So now I value is 3. Is 3 is lesser than 3? No, right? Why? Because 3 is equal to 3. But 3 is not lesser than 3 or greater than 3. So that is why 3 is lesser than 3 will be false. Then it won't come here and it won't increment the I loop. That it will come out of the for loop. That means what? From the lower bound to upper bound, we have visited each element at least once. This is traversal. So if the for loop got over, it will going to visit all the element, end of for loop, then we have to exit. This is how traversal will going to perform. Fine. So here you can see the program in order to perform the traversal. As include stdio.io.h, we are including the header file. Then we have a main function and here we are initializing an array at the time of its declaration itself. Int is a data type here and we have a name of an array as LA and size we are not specifying explicitly. Then how many number of elements that we have, that size automatically will going to be assigned for the size. Already we all got to know how we are going to initialize. What are the different methodology we have in order to initialize a one-dimensional array. So here first element will be, consider 2, 4 and we have 6, 8, then 9. Okay. Name of an array is LA. LA of 0, LA of 1, LA of 2, LA of 3 and at last we have LA of 4. These are the location we have. After that, they are initializing the n value to 5. So totally we have 5 elements here and we are declaring a variable called I in order to visit each index or a subscript. Printf, the array elements are. Why I am not taking the value of n? Already we are initializing. That means up to 5 elements we can take. So here I have all those elements already. No need to take an input for that. So now we are just displaying what are the elements we have. So what are the elements we have here? We have 2, 4, 6 and 8, 9. This is how this will going to be the output here. So the array elements are LA of 0 is equal to 2. So in the location 0, which element we have? So consider again 2, 4, 6 and we have a 8 and at last we have a 9, right? So this is LA of 0, this is LA of 1, LA of 2, this is LA of 3 and this is LA of 4, right? So what we have in a LA of 0, that is 2, LA of 1, 4, LA of 2, then 6, LA of 3, 8, LA of 4, 9. This is how we are going to traverse each element. So this is what you can see in the program. LA of %D, that specifies the location. So in the location of a I is equal to 0. When it is in the 0th position, that will going to specify the value called 2. So that element will going to be given here. After that, when the I will going to be incremented by next value, then it comes to the next value or element. That value will going to be displayed. After that, I will again increment 6, 8 as well as 9. When it reaches to this position, so when 5 is not lesser than 5, so at that time condition will going to be false. When 5 is not lesser than 5, condition will be false. So it won't go for the further elements, it will just come out of the loop. So this is how each element will going to be visited in this traversing method. I hope you all understood. So next we'll see about the next operation, that is regarding inserting an element into an array. Already we have some existing array. So for that I wanted to insert a new element. Then we are going to call that process as what? Insertion or inserting an element here. So insertion refers to the inserting an element into the array. We are adding more element or one more element to the existing array, right? So here what we require, so and where we can insert an element. So already we know we have a representation of a one-dimensional array. So we can insert an element at the beginning. So you can insert an element at the beginning or end or anywhere in an array. That means you need to specify a specific position. So after specifying a specific position or a location, there also we can insert. Let me consider here I have 3 elements, 10, 20, 30. So now I wanted to insert an element at the beginning called 40. Can we do that? Yes. And again I have only 10, 20. Now I wanted to insert an element called 30 at the end. So then we are going to add this. Fine. Then already I have only 10, 20. So now in the position called 1. So here consider A of 0. This will be A of 1. I wanted to add an element called 30. I wanted to add an element called 30 at the position A of 1. So position will be 1 here and I wanted to add 30. The element which 30 needs to be added here. So how it will going to be done? This 20 will going to be pushed for the next location and this will become vacant now. After that I can add 30 here. That means whatever we have in A of 1, that will going to be copied to next position, that is A of 2. Then now A of 1 is blank. For that position, I am bringing this 30 in that position so that insertion can be at the beginning, at the end. This is at the beginning, this is at the end, this is at the specific position. So this is how we can insert, right? So consider when an element is to be considered to a particular position, all the elements from the as position to the last element should be shifted into higher order position as I told. So if I wanted to insert an element in this position, so whatever the elements that we have after that position needs to be pushed right, then only we can get a space there. Then we can insert an element whichever we wanted to insert. So consider here we have a of 5, that means it can have up to 5 values. So in that with elements 10, 20, 40, 50, 60, 30 is left out. Now I wanted to add that element into a particular location. How it will going to work? You can see here, right? I wanted to add an element called 30 to be inserted at the position 2. Let me consider the example here. So initially how it was? 10, 20, 30 is not there, 40, 50, and at last I have 60. This is what? Array name is A of 0, A of 1 and A of 2, and we have A of 3 here, A of 4, right? Now, I wanted to add an element called 30, that too in the position 2. That means my target this position. I wanted to add an element called 30 in this position. Now, where should I leave all these 40, 50, 60? I just need to push it away to the right or higher position. So, whatever we have in A of 2 will be shifted to A of 3. Whatever we have in A of 3 will be shifted to A of 4. A of 4 will be shifted to A of 5. So, now you can analyze. Initially, it was 5. Only 5 element. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5. So the size of n is 5. But when we are inserting a new element, at the time size of what n becomes n plus 1. This is how we are going to do. So now the n value will going to be n plus 1. Initially it was 5. So now 5 plus 1 is what? 6. Totally we are going to have 6 element. Then how it will going to be done now? So let me consider 10, 20 and 30 will be comes to the specified position, 40 and we have 50 and 60. So now the element size or location will be A of 0, A of 1 and A of 2, A of 3 and A of 4, A of 5. Right? Initially it was 5 elements, now it become 6 elements. This is how insertion will going to takes place. You can see here 60 is moving to the position called 5. Correct, no? So here it is in the 5th location. 50 is moved to the position 4. This is also correct. And 40 is moved to the position called 3. Right? That is in the location 3. And now I wanted to insert an element called 30. And now it's in the position called 2. This is how we are going to perform the insertion. You can see here. And now that position 20 is blank. That value will going to be filled by 30 or the element whatever you wanted to insert. So here we see the algorithm for this. Here we are using a insert and A is a array name. N specifies the number of elements and item specifies the element value that you wanted to insert to the position P. And A is an array here with n elements. Item is the element to be inserted in the position POS. Then where we can insert? Can we insert an element after the end of an array? No, right? It has to be within n minus 1. Always the size will be n minus 1. For example, if I have 5 elements, if n is 5, then the last index value will be what? N minus 1 always, right? Here only you can see that n value is 5, but the last index value is A of 4. That always specifies n minus 1. So the size specifies n minus 1 always. For that, step 1 for I is equal to n minus 1 down to the position. From the end of a array to which position you wanted to add an element, only that part needs to be repeat again and again, because we are dealing with that elements. I won't touch 10 and 20 because I wanted to add an element called 30 in the position of 40. So 40, 50, 60 only will going to get affected. Apart from that, this 10 and 20 which is in the left side, that will not going to get any changes here. That's why for I is equal to n minus 1 down to position. That you can see here again. (10, 20, 40, 50, 60, A of 0, A of 1, A of 2, A of 3, A of 4, right? From I is equal to n minus 1 down to position. So this position up to here we wanted to do. From the last element to this element. How it will going to happen? Already we know the assignment, right? Whatever we have in the RHS will going to be copied to LHS. So here A of I, whatever we have in A of I will be copied to A of I plus 1. That means, so now 10, 20, so now how it will going to happen? So A of I, that is in this position. From A of 2, whatever we have in A of 2 will going to be copied to A of 2 plus 1, that is in the location A of 3. So now 40 will come here. Again it will come this position After that, 50 will going to be moved to the next position, A of 4, and next it will come again and loop will going to execute it again, A of 5 will come here. So now this position is blank. What we have to do after the end of this for loop, that means up to this position to the n minus 1 we have did it. So now I have to come for the step 2. A of position is equal to item. Item is the value, that is 30 I wanted to insert to the position called A of 2. So in the position 2 we have to add an element called 30. So that is blank now. That value will going to be filled in the A of 2. This will be A of 1, A of 0. So now what will going to happen in a step 3? That is n is equal to n plus 1. Initially it was only 5 element. Now n value will going to be n plus 1. So that 5 plus 1 becomes 6. So now we have 6 elements in the array and at last we are going to exit. Fine. This is how this insertion of an element will going to takes place. You can see here 10, 20, 40, 50, 60. This is what initial thing. So now 10 plus 1 is blank. So that 60 element will going to be pushed here. In the next position 50 will comes to the position 4 and 40 will come to the position 3. So now this 2 is blank. That will going to be filled by this 30. This is how insertion will going to takes place. So here I have given the program for this. You can refer for your reference. It's a C program to insert an element into an array. Fine. Just take a snapshot of this. It will going to helpful in order to write a program in order to insert an element in an array. Same thing whatever we have done in an algorithm has taken place in the programming also. This is what you can see in the C program to insert an element into an array. So we are specifying the position. For that position, we are giving a value. Once it got inserted, then that needs to be specified. What is the value after the insertion? So here you can see the output, what we are going to get for that. Number of elements will going to be 6 and the array elements we have here. After that, we need to specify the position where we wanted to insert. So here we are taking the position called 2 and the element which we wanted to insert is 48. Initially it was 12, 23, 34, 45, 56 and 67. So it will be in the location 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, right? So all these is in the location like this. So now we wanted to insert an element called 48 to the second location. So now it will be 0, 1. For the second position, we are including this element called 48. Whatever we have in the second position, third, 4, 5 and that and all going to be moved for the next location. Now it will become third position, 4, 5 and 6. So initially it was 6. So now it become 7 element. Now the n value is 7. Fine. This is how insertion works. What will going to happen when we are doing this deletion of an element? We got to know in the insertion the element will going to be pushed to the next location. But what will going to happen in a deletion? It's the reverse thing. That means n will going to be minus 1. We are deleting an element from the array or we are removing an element from an array is called what? Deletion of an element in an array. So here you can say that removing of an element. Removing of an element from the array is called deletion. And where we can delete the element, this is also same thing whatever we have done for the insertion. It can be done at the beginning, at the end, or we can specify the location wherever we wanted to delete an element. Right? So when the element is to be deleted from the particular position, all the subsequent shift to the lower order position. Need to remember. So in the insertion 10, 20. So if I wanted to insert an element at this position, this 20 will going to be moved here. So now this is blank. I can add 30. But in the deletion, if I wanted to consider 10, 20, 30. So now I wanted to delete this 20 element. So if I am deleting this 30 will going to be copied to the previous location. This is just a reverse of insertion, right? This 30 will going to be is in the A of 2 now, right? This is A of 1 and this is A of 0. Fine. So whatever we have in A of 2, that will going to be moved to A of 1 if I am deleting the position 1 element. That is what the difference between insertion and deletion. Let me consider the example here. Same thing, we have A of 5 and we have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So those are my elements. Consider 10, 20, 30, 40 and we have 50. This is my element and 30 needs to be deleted from the position 2, right? This is A of 0, A of 1, 2, A of 3 and this is A of 4. I wanted to delete an element called 30 which is in the position called 2. Then what will going to happen? If I am deleting this element called 30, then this 50 should be shifted to the location called 40 and this 40, whatever the element that we have, that needs to be shifted to the location called A of 2. So that means we are shrinking the size of n by 1. That is what n minus 1. So now see here, copy the 30 to item. So which item I wanted to delete? That is 30. Fine. Then which is in the position called 2. So now move the 50 to the position 3. So now how it will going to happen? We have to move the element called 50 to the position 3, 40 to the position 2 and remaining will be as it is. Let me see here. First we have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So these are my 5 elements. So now I wanted to delete an element called 30 which is in the position 2. So now after that this wanted to be deleted. After that this 50 will going to be moved to the position called 3 and whatever like we had 40 in the A of 3, that will going to be moved to this position called A of 2. So now 50 will come here. So now this will going to be blank. That means A of 4 will going to be blank now. We have only 4 elements 10, 20, 40 and 50. That 30 got deleted which was in the position called A of 2. I hope you all understood regarding this. So here you can see the algorithm for this deletion. Same thing, delete A, n, item, position. A is an array with n element and item is the element which needs to be deleted and POS specifies the position from where you wanted to delete and that will going to be stored into the variable called item. So first I need to specify the item of which location. That means I wanted to delete an element called 30 which is in the position. A of position is 2. So now we have wanted to delete an element called 30 which is in the location A of 2. After that, for I is equal to position down to n minus 1. So the last element should be shifted to the previous location. The previous last but one element should be shifted to the another previous location. So whatever we have in A of I plus 1. So if I is in the second position, then means whatever we have in A of 3 should be copied to A of 2. Now that needs to be takes place. This is how the for loop will going to takes place. After that n will going to be decremented by 1 and we are going to exit. So consider 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. I wanted to delete this element. This is in the location 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So when it comes here, A of I is equal to, so now what is the I value? That is what? A of 2. We have to start from A of 2. I is equal to 2 now. So now here A of 2 is equal to A of 2 plus 1. That is A of 3 it is. What we have in A of 3? That is 40. 40 needs to be copied to the position called A of 2. So now how it will going to take place? So in the position 2, 0, 1, 2, 40 will going to accumulate. So after that again same thing will going to happen. I will going to be incremented by 1. So now I value will be 3. After that here A of 3 is equal to A of 3 plus 1. Let me consider A of 4 directly. So in the A of 4 what we have? 50. That needs to be copied to A of 3th position. So here 50 will going to be copied. The remaining value 10 and 20 will going to be as it is and this n will going to be decremented by 1. So initially n was 5. So now we have only 4 elements. So now n value become 4. This is n minus 1. If you are done, we have to exit. So here also I have given a program for that. You can refer where we are going to enter the number of elements and we have to enter that element. Then we need to specify the location where you wanted to delete. After specifying the position, by taking this for loop, that element will going to be deleted. But here we have an if condition. So if I am trying to delete an element which is above the range, I have only 5 elements, but if I wanted to delete the 6th element, that is not going to happen. Then we have to say that deletion is not possible. Otherwise, what we have to do, whatever we have in the position, the element where we wanted to delete, after that element needs to be copied to the previous location. This is very, very important line. You can see here, array of C plus 1. This is instead of I, we are taking C here. C plus 1, the next position. So, second position element will going to be copied to the first position. First position element will going to be copied to the 0th position. From wherever you wanted to delete, from right to that, it will come to the left location or to the lower location. This is important. After that, we are printing the resultant. So, after this program, how will be the output? That you can see here, enter the number of elements in an array. So, we are taking 5 elements here. So, it is necessary to enter 5 elements. How many elements I am entering? 4, 6, 8, 10, 7. So, these are the 5 elements of an array. Enter the location where you wish to delete an element. So, here I am specifying the location called 2. So, that means which element? 0, 1, 2, 10. That means third position, 4. Right? Consider here I have 5 elements, that is 4, 6, and we have 8, and we have 10, and at last we have 7. It is in the position 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. I wanted to delete an element in the location called 2. So, that means we wanted to delete an element called 8. So, if it got deleted, then what will be the resultant array? So, that will going to be 4, 6, 8 got deleted. Next, it will be 10 and 7. This is how will be the resultant for this array or a program, whatever we have written here. I hope you all understood this today's session. That means we have learned regarding traversal, insertion and deletion. It's all about today's session. In my coming session, we're going to see about the sorting the elements in an array. We are done with traversal, insertion, deletion. Next, we'll see about the sorting and what is sorting, what are the different methodology we have in order to sort an element. That I will be discussing in my coming session. Let me meet you in the next session. Until that, keep learning, keep on growing. Thank you.